Hello, my name is Gary Goodworth. I am the webmaster of anunseenworld.com. And in this video, we are going to talk about a mysterious creature in the Bible called Leviathan and discuss who or what Leviathan may be. Let's begin by going into Job chapter 41, and I'm reading from the Berean Standard Bible for clarity's sake, beginning with verse 1. And God is talking to Job here. Can you pull in Leviathan with a hook or tie down his tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through his nose or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he beg you for mercy or speak to you softly? Will he make a covenant with you to take him as a slave for life? Can you pet him like a bird or put him on a leash for your maidens? Will traders barter for him or divide him among the merchants? Can you fill his hide with harpoons or his head with fishing spears? If you lay a hand on him, you will remember the battle and never repeat it. Surely hope of overcoming him is false. Is not the sight of him overwhelming? No one is so fierce as to rouse Leviathan. Then who is able to stand against me being God? Who has given to me, God, that I should repay him? Everything under heaven is mine. God is saying everything under heaven is his. Then I cannot keep silent about his limbs, his power and graceful form. Now we start to read a portion of the scripture that seems to describe a dragon as depicted in modern day movies. I cannot keep silent about his limbs, his power and graceful form. Who can strip off his outer coat? Who can approach him with a bridle? Who can open his jaws, ringed by his fearsome teeth? His rows of scales are his pride, tightly sealed together. One scale so near to another that no air can pass between them. They are joined to one another. They clasp and cannot be separated. His snorting flashes with light, and his eyes are like the rays of dawn. Firebrands stream from his mouth. Fiery sparks shoot forth. That sounds like a dragon. Smoke billows from his nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. His breath sets coals ablaze, and flames pour from his mouth. Strength resides in his neck, and dismay leaps before him. The folds of his flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable. His chest is as hard as a rock, as hard as a lower millstone. When Leviathan rises up, the mighty are terrified. They withdraw before his thrashing. The sword that reaches him has no effect, nor does the spear or dart or arrow. He regards iron as straw and bronze as rotten wood. No arrow can make him flee. Sling stones become like shaft to him. A club is regarded as straw, and he laughs at the sound of the lance. His undersides are jagged potsherds, spreading out the mud like a threshing sledge. He makes the depths seethe like a cauldron. He makes the sea like a jar of ointment. He leaves a glistening wake behind him. One would think the deep had white hair. Nothing on earth is his equal, a creature devoid of fear. Verse 34 seems to give us a clue to what Leviathan really is. The Berean Bible says he looks down on all the haughty. He is king over all the proud. And the King James says he beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. Pride is the downfall of mankind. Proverbs 16:18 states, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Rebellion is the result of pride. When we do what God doesn't want us to do, when we put our will above God's will, then that's an act of rebellion, and that comes from pride. And when we put our will over God's will, we will always fall. This happened with Lucifer. He was once an angel, but he wanted to be like God, and sin was found in him because his will became more important than God's will, and he became the evil spiritual being we know as Satan. He tempted Adam and Eve, and God gave Adam and Eve one command: don't eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And nowhere in the Bible does it say it's an apple. It says it's the fruit of the knowledge of the good and evil. And Adam and Eve chose to eat that fruit, putting their will above God's, and they were cast out of the garden. Pride is what is the downfall of mankind. And Leviathan seems to be symbolic of Satan and all rebellion against God. In Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 19, it says, "There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes," which means arrogant eyes, that's pride; a lying tongue; hands that shed innocent blood; a heart that devises wicked plans; feet that make haste to run to evil; a false witness who breathes out lies; and one who sows discord among brothers. Pride is the downfall of mankind. Mankind in this present age is full of pride. You can watch athletes. I'm a football fan and like to watch football, but it really annoys me when a football player will score a touchdown or something, then they'll raise their hand in there and I'm number one and beat her in the chest and proclaiming how great they are. That's pride. And pride always comes before a fall. And Satan is the father of all the children of pride. In Isaiah 27, verse 1, it says, "In that day the Lord with his severe sword, great and strong, will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, Leviathan, that twisted serpent, and he will slay the reptile that is in the sea." And it was the serpent in the Garden of Eden that deceived Adam and Eve into partaking of the forbidden fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. This seems to indicate a sea creature, yet it seems to, in Revelation 13:1, it says a beast rises out of the sea, and there for the sea is referring to the sea of nations. An interesting aspect of this, though, is David Paulides, who does these missing 411 shows and writes books about it. A lot of the disappearances seem to be close to a body of water, like rivers and seas are connected to these disappearances in some way. And Revelation talks about 3 demonic angels being released from the river Euphrates. So water seems to be connected to evil. So my conclusion here, what or who is Leviathan? I do believe Leviathan might have been an actual large sea creature of some kind that Job might have been familiar with, but it also seems to represent Satan himself. And when we read the scriptures that talk about Leviathan as referring to Satan, things become a little bit more clear, because all the scriptures that talk about Leviathan talk about a fierce and mighty creature who is evil and causes chaos. And is that not the same as Satan, which scripture tells us that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy? Thank you for being with me today. I wished I could elaborate a little bit more on this, and I probably could do a whole hour lesson on it, but I don't have the time for that. My videos only allows me 15 minutes to film. So thank you for watching today. I'll try to make another video next week, and you have a good day or afternoon or night, whatever the case may be, and may God bless. Bye.